31,000 in sales,
with profit margins of,
45%.
so that's about 16,000 in profit.
Yes, and no
Yes.
PPC, still no
No
PPC.
PPC, you guys, zero advertising.
No, never.
Welcome back to my channel today, everyone. I have one of my success students, Marie, back on my channel. If you guys recognize Marie, it is because she was on my YouTube channel in 2021 and 2022, and she has done a success story with me in the past, and now she's back for her third year in a row because her products are still making her a ton of money selling on Amazon. Hi, Marie, how are you?
Hi, Tamara. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. I'm amazing now that I have you here because I'm excited to share with the audience your progress and your success. So just to give you guys a little recap about the previous years, in this YouTube video right here I did with Marie in 2021, she was making over $10,000 a month in profit. And last year in 2022, she was making over $23,000 in profit. That story is right here. And now we are at the end of 2023 and she is making over $16,000 in profit. Notice I always say profit and not revenue, not sales, because that's not what we talk about on this channel. So I just want to share with you guys Marie's journey and what she's been through and how you guys can find success as well. So Marie, let's introduce yourself a little bit and let's show the audience your latest success.
Yes, thank you so much, Tamara. Thanks for inviting me back. I'm so happy to be back for a third time to chat about Amazon. So thanks for having me. But yeah, I'm from Ontario, so I'm Canadian. I sell on the US Amazon marketplace. I work full-time as a teacher, and I also do Amazon FBA. And yeah, so I'm going to show you my sales as of recently because they're very exciting.
You guys, she ran out of stock. It was very sad.
I did. I needed to be a little bit more prepared, but I did run out of stock, but I mean, that's part of the business. It happens, right? You learn from the mistakes, so I'll be more prepared next time. But anyway, before I ran out of stock, I was doing really well. So I was at 31,000 in sales,
with profit margins of
45%.
So that's about 16,000 in profit.
Yes, and no PPC, still no PPC.
No PPC, you guys, zero advertising.
No, never. And then the sales were up and I was at 36,000 in sales.
Amazing.
See that. So yeah, 36,000 in sales in the past 30 days before I ran out of stock. And yeah, profit was around 45%, zero PPC, all passive, didn't have to do anything. So it was great.
I love Marie's journey because you're probably one of the very few students that I have that requires zero advertising on Amazon. So if we talk a little bit about that, like how did that even happen? Like,
well, I think what helped me was going into a category that was less competitive, and getting in there at the right time. So making sure that my product met all of the criteria that you suggest and what makes most sense when choosing a product, but getting in there at the right time, being proactive, but yeah, not going after something that was super competitive, that was super highly searched. I think that probably helped me quite a bit.
course, because you've been selling the same product. You guys,
Mhm.
Marie's been selling the exact same product the last 3 years, and it's been steady, it's been passive. How much time do you spend in your business now? Like,
Hardly anything. Maybe in a couple emails throughout the week, honestly,
yeah,
just to send some new inventory in.
yeah.
So I hardly spend any time on it, and there have been like new competitors coming into
Mm,
my kind of market,
mm.
um, which is still scary. And but I still find that none of them can match up to the quality of my product. And I think because I went in strong with a really good quality product and I didn't skimp out anywhere, I think that that has also helped me.
Okay, so what do you think has changed about your product from 2021 last year and this year? Like, did you make any improvements or changes that helped you with your success? And that's why you've been in business for a few years. So I'm interested in knowing, Marie, like what improvements did you make?
Yeah, I definitely did make some improvements to my product. I think the biggest one that I made was my product packaging. And for my product in particular, the packaging is very important.
Mhm.
It's kind of a part of the product. So
Okay.
initially, I had my main manufacturer of my product design the packaging. And now that I look back on it, it's really it's cringe. It wasn't great. At the time, I thought it was like fabulous, and now I look back and I'm like, oh, like that's not great. So then
Yeah.
I ended up, reading reviews and reflecting just personally and getting inspiration from different places. And I reached out to a manufacturer on Alibaba, who I now work with, and got a new design for my packaging done. So the packaging for my product right now is way better than it was initially. So that was the biggest improvement that I,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'm
So
glad you brought that up because I think for most sellers, they make a product like the first time and they think like, oh, that's it. Now all
yes,
the passive income is going to start coming in and I'm
yeah,
going to be rich and I get to sit back, but it's so far from the truth. Like you said yourself. And even for my products, we recreate, we reinvent everything. You know,
yeah.
sometimes it's the same product, but the packaging or something about the product needs to change to get more sales. So I think, that plays a huge part in why you're still making so much money after
Yeah.
3, 4 years. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think because if I had stuck with the original packaging that it was in,
Mhm.
like the product was still the same and it looked good, but it's not up to the caliber of what my product is now. Like it's something you would see in like a store
Mhm.
and you would look at it and you would want to buy.
Mhm.
So I think if I had stuck with the original one, I might not have seen the same sales that I do now. But it being a good quality product and making changes throughout the way, yeah, I think
Yeah,
it definitely helped.
great. And if there were like new sellers, well, obviously there are new sellers watching this success
Mhm.
story. What are the most biggest challenges you think they will run into based on your own experience? Because you've been doing this for years. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think for myself, one of the biggest challenges that I had to overcome was personally just getting over that fear. I had so much fear starting out in this business with, fear of losing money, fear
Mhm.
of failing and this not working out. Like, what am I going to do if it doesn't sell? And it's always just these thoughts in my head, just like,
Right.
what if I can't do it? Like for me, that was really hard to overcome because I'm not much of a risk taker. So personally, like based on my experience, that was probably the biggest challenge that I
Mhm.
had to overcome was just learning to like trust the process and have faith that things are going to work out. Um, and then on the business side of it, I think one of the biggest challenges for me was just kind of understanding how business in general works as somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience with business. Being introduced to that world is very new to me because working for an employer, like I don't have to do anything. Like
Yeah.
I work for them, I get
Get a
paid.
paycheck.
I get a paycheck and it's
Yeah.
done. And, my taxes are all done for me. It's all taxed. So learning about like taxes and taxable income and trademark and lawyers and accountants, like that was a bit of a challenge for me, especially when I started profiting and making a lot of money. It's just kind of learning how to organize my finances. But thankfully, there are a lot of resources out there and help available so that you don't have
Yes.
to do it alone.
Yes, and I'm glad you brought this up because I always tell my students and my audience everywhere I'm filming online, I tell them like, hey, look, I can give you the perfect recipe to success, but at
Mhm.
the end of the day, it's all up here, right? Like one thing that mentors cannot like kind of force you into or teach you is the mental aspect of getting over fear,
Yeah.
thinking positively, waking up and staying on schedule and staying on track because no one's really like, I'm not laying next to you in bed being like, hey, like,
Yeah.
let's get up and do this. It's really you, the business owner, taking responsibility to make this happen for yourself. So that was one of my challenges too. So I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so let's pretend that if you were to start from scratch again, and tomorrow we are launching a brand new product, brand new Amazon business. Since you are experienced now, what advice would you give to newbies starting out this whole Amazon business?
I think my main piece of advice to anybody new selling on Amazon is to make sure that you get mentorship. You, it's not something that you can just do on your own. You need a mentor or some type of training to really guide you. And that's what helped me when I first started, was having that mentorship from you. So for people who don't know, I was one of the first people who enrolled in Tamara's course. So I learned everything I did through your program. And for somebody like me who, like, I work 8 to 4 every day. So I don't have the time to like go somewhere. Like, it's just so convenient to be able to log in and do it at my own pace. And so I learned all about Amazon at my own pace. And anytime I have a question, I just go on Facebook and I throw it in your Facebook group and somebody answers it so quickly. And that's what I need. I don't have time to like sit
Yeah,
around and wait.
yeah.
So it's so important that you have that mentorship and that training, because Amazon is not a business that you can just go into blindly. You really need to know your stuff. And
I'm
thankfully,
so glad I'm so glad you brought this up. So if you are someone that is new to selling on Amazon and you need personal one-on-one help, then I recommend you to get my free Amazon training in the YouTube description below. Click on the free training link, enter your name, enter your email address, and watch my short training to the end because you get to book a free one-on-one call with my team and we will walk you through beginning to end how I was able to find profitable products to sell on Amazon that became completely hands-off and that was able to pay me money month after month. I think a lot of new sellers, if you guys are watching this and you are a newbie, and when I say newbie, you are probably in your 6 months of just starting this whole thing. There's like, research here and there and like all over the place. The Amazon FBA business model should be treated like a real business.
oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, like there's so many things so many moving parts that you cannot figure out by yourself. Like when I first started, I lost over $10,000. And I talked about that loss in this video right here if you guys want to check it out. But basically, there were I don't think any coaches existed like when I started 6 years ago. So I learned the hard way through trial and error. So I'm glad that Marie, the Winners Ecom Workshop, was able to help you. I mean, look at where you are. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you worked very hard to get to where you are. And yeah, so congratulations on that.
Thank you. And thanks for all your support. It's nice just being able to log in and ask questions when I need and get my answer right away. And it's like
Yeah,
it's a community, because it's, it can be a scary business, and to know that you have people there who are all in the same mindset and
Yes,
supporting you and they want the best for you, which you might not always find on the personal side
it's
with
true.
family and friends. It's just
Yeah.
nice that everybody's in that same mindset. So
Mhm. So do you think selling on Amazon is hard? Because I keep hearing from beginners, oh my gosh, Tamara, it's so hard. And people like you and me, we're kind of confused. We're like, it's not hard at all. Like it's
yeah.
really effortless. And I hate myself for saying that, but it's only because practice makes perfect. And we've been doing this for years. So do you think it's hard?
No, I don't think selling on Amazon is hard. I mean, I'm just a teacher from Ontario. I have no experience in business or anything like that. My degree is in child and youth studies. Like, I don't know much about business, and I was able to succeed, what I think, in Amazon. So, no, I don't think it's hard, but I do think that you have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to make sure that you're putting the time aside to do it, because it takes those little steps throughout the way and work every single day in order to get kind of to the place where you need to be. And without doing that, you're not going to achieve
Anywhere.
any
Yeah.
success. You can't just sit back and expect things to happen. So you have to make sure that you're putting the work in. And so, setting aside time every day to watch a module or to ask a question is really important. But that's why it's nice to have your group to help keep you accountable. Just to, everybody's in the same mindset. So it's really
Yeah.
helpful.
And I also think that anything that is new to you guys will always be hard.
Of
Like, for
course.
example, like when I started making green smoothies, you guys, oh, it tastes like ass. But
Yeah.
now, I perfected the recipe and I make it every morning, and now it's actually really enjoyable. So,
Yeah.
everything that is new to you guys will be uncomfortable, will hurt a bit, will make you want to pull out your hair, but we promise you it is worth it. So, what are you doing with all the money that you are making from Amazon? Because this is your third year in a row where you are making real good profits.
I am, yes. So the first thing that I've done with my money, which I'm super proud of myself for, is I put a huge lump sum down, as much as I can, for my mortgage for my house, and that's huge for me. So I'm close to paying it off, which is great.
Yay!
Yes, I know it's
That's amazing.
yeah, I know. I'm really proud of myself. I'm trying to
Awesome. Like you're mortgage
yeah.
free almost.
I know, which is crazy, being like I own this house by myself, right? So that's really exciting for me. So that's the main thing that I've done with my money. I've also got a new office set up, got a couple new computers, and just kind of enjoying like not having to worry about money as much. So if I'm going out to eat, not having to worry about how much things are, or if I need to have things delivered to my house. It's just that like comfortability of not having to worry about money so much. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing.
And you don't have to worry about money as much because you got Amazon.
Yeah, and it's crazy to see how much money can be made on Amazon.
So your
And
last paycheck you were telling me was
yeah,
50,000 American and you're Canadian, so that's like 20 grand Canadian extra
yeah,
every month. Like
yeah, I know. And at like first people are like, how can you make that much money? Like that doesn't, how is that even possible? But
it's
like
definitely possible.
it's 100% possible. I don't think people realize how much money you can make in e-commerce,
Yeah.
specifically. I mean, obviously Amazon's my favorite business model, but there's no like one pot of money that, and then once it's taken out, it's empty. Like there's so much money to be made. And so I opened my phone on, or my email on Christmas, and I got my Amazon paycheck, and it said 15,000 is going to be deposited in my account, US
Profit, you guys,
profit.
profit.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And I'm
Because
sure that like you would have made so much more if you did not run out of stock. In case anybody's wondering why, last year's numbers were a little more inflated, guys, Marie was very upset. But you know what? It's a really good lesson. Everything is a
It
lesson.
is.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I've learned from this. I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe I was a little too passive. Like, I gotta pay attention to my inventory levels a little bit more." But you know what? Like, that's a part of the business. Like, not everything's always perfect. That's a real experience that I had, and I've learned from it. And I mean, obviously, I wish it didn't happen. I wish I could have learned that a different way. But, I sold out. It's a good problem to
It
have,
is a good
but
problem to have.
yeah, of course, I would never want it just to be like sitting in the warehouse. But yeah, so it was crazy.
Awesome.
That was a nice email to get. But yeah, so things are good.
Congratulations, Marie, again. If you guys want to watch any of the previous success stories I've done with Marie, again, I will link it here and here. Thank you so much for your time, Marie. And I hope to see you again next year, which will be the 4th year.
Thank you for having me. I hope to see you then too. Thanks, Tamara.